Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to On the Mic with Mike, the premier social enterprise business show in Richmond, Virginia, here on 92.7 FM, 820 AM. I'm your host, Mike King, and I appreciate you being here with me because you could be almost anywhere else. So join me as this cutting-edge show uplifts the community and showcases RVA in a different way. We're coming to you live and direct from the palatial studios of WNTW, high above booming Chester, that hotbed of business activities. So it is booming. So this show highlights partnerships, innovation, social enterprise, nonprofits with business people and organizations making a difference in the greater Richmond area. So please follow my other brands, which are Mike King Biz, my TV show, which is RVA Swag Central, which is on CW Richmond on Fridays at 5 a.m. And so we just like to thank our sponsor, which is Nicole Reed Real Estate. So buying and selling a home, go with the pro. Nicole Reed is definitely the best in the business. So holding down the board today and keeping this circus intact is Mr. Henry. He was the executive producer of the show. And you can reach Henry by calling 804-454-1366. So today's show is informative, engaging, and filled with community game changers. So joining us today, we have Shelby Brown of CBS 6 and Mission from the Heart, which is an inspiring nonprofit that she started. We'll have Craig Martin from the Good Road TV, which is about philanthropy on a worldwide basis. He's running a little bit behind. And with the power of and the magic of radio, he will join us shortly. We also have Duke Dodson of Dodson Property Management, one of the leading property management organizations in the city, and also very cutting edge as far as their marketing goes. And he has his finger on the pulse of what's happening in the city. So along the way, we have to pay some bills around here. My grandkids do need stuff. So some of our partners will drop in and offer words of wisdom about what they do, such as social media branding, which is from Nudge Advertising, and it's Jacob. We also have the show sponsor, Nicole Reed's going to talk to us a little bit about what's going on in the real estate market. So now, without further ado, I bring to you our esteemed panel. So quick word of hello.
Hey there.
Okay, and your name is? He just said, hey there, folks.
This is Duke Dodson with Dodson Property Management.
Okay, and we also have?
Shelby Brown with Mission from the Heart and WTVR CBS 6 News.
All righty, so folks, thanks for coming in. So Shelby, we're going to start with you. Of course we're going to. So you're in the news business, but in reality, the reason that you're here, we're going to get to the news side of things. You have some big things. Tell us about Mission from the Heart, because that's how I found you. And everybody knows I have a bent for this nonprofit side. Tell us about what Mission from the Heart is, how you got started, and then we'll get to the boring stuff, the newsy business.
Yeah, Mission from the Heart. Whew, that is my heart. It is a nonprofit run by volunteers, people that are my friends, family members, and just people in the community that support me. And our mission is just to be a light for students that are experiencing homelessness in the area. And because of my job and because of some of the things that I've seen through the years that I've covered stories here, it really just has had a profound impact on me. And in the last 2 years, I started to do more research on just what that homeless picture looks like for kids. Excuse me. And I have 2 kids, and I tell them all the time how blessed they are and, just to be thankful for what they have. And then I break it down to them and I tell them about the numbers, and I tell them that there's almost 900 homeless kids in Chesterfield, and they go, and the ladies at the bus stop too, when I was first working on this, I told them what I was doing, and they said, oh, you're going to take that to the city, right? There's no homeless kids here in Chesterfield. And I went, okay, show me the rock you're living under. No, we have homeless kids in Chesterfield. We have more than 1,400 homeless kids in Richmond, close to 1,000 in Henrico, over 400 or more in Petersburg. And really just kind of growing out of things that I did personally as a reporter, covering stories, and the day would be done and I'd drive home and it would just eat at me. I'd get halfway home and think, I just interviewed a lady who has nothing. Her house burned down. Her family's homeless. She doesn't even have food to feed her kids tonight. So I'd find myself pulling into the grocery store, buying bags of groceries, driving back to the place that I just covered a story.
Okay.
And, giving a bag of groceries, or interviewing someone who had a family, had a loss or something like that. And I've taken kids shopping for coats before. And just through the years of doing that, my husband and my friends, they would always say, that's really awesome that you want to do that. But think about the reach that you could accomplish if you locked arms with other people What if you ask businesses? What if you ask other people? What if you join churches and sororities and organizations and child advocates, or just people that care, and you just started collecting, and you just go school by school and figure out what the need is there and just be a light that way. And so about a year and a half ago, I started, and I did some research on forming a nonprofit. And a very good friend of mine who has been on your show before with the KLM Scholarship Foundation.
She's a master at it.
She told me, she said, you know what, Shelby, if you want to do it, don't worry about at this moment that you're not a nonprofit. If people see what you're doing, they see that you're genuine, people are going to give and they're going to help. And I thought, well, people don't, they want to give if it's nonprofit so they can write it off on their taxes. And she said, Shelby, the people that want to help will help.
They want to help.
And just start. So I just started. I started without being a nonprofit. And I was very upfront. And I told people that gave me donations, I said, you can't write this off. But I'm telling you, I'm just going to spend it, buy things, take it back, put it right back into the community. And then back in the spring, we got our 501c3 status. And the help just comes from everywhere. I could give you so many different examples. We'd be here all day.
It's funny because one of the great things about this, I saw where you were interacting with your kids when they were, I guess you were out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And that was some of the things. It's great when they see what, everyone sees their mamas on TV. But when they're seeing that kind of things, you're bringing the problems, because a lot of people don't think, oh, there's no problems here where I live at. Mm-hmm. Because people, a lot of times, they just have the view of the world of where they come from. And you're saying, no, it's not like that. So, kudos to you. But you guys, this is the TV tease. We got some big news that you had that you're going to break. We're going to go over to Duke. So now you're on the property management side. And one of the things that we look at on this show, we always have sort of a business sort of person who's engaged in business. But your organization is doing property management a different way. Some of the things you're really creative about how you reach people. What is it about Richmond that you see that drives people here that's caused the activity from an economic standpoint?
Richmond's experienced a ton of growth lately. When I moved here 16 years ago and got into the business shortly thereafter, we rarely saw out-of-town money buying Richmond real estate. And it was about 5 to 7 years ago we started noticing that, and it kind of caught my attention because people from Baltimore, New York, California, Israel buying real estate here. And the reason why people are moving here, right? And so what makes people move here, I think it's a lot of reasons. The geographic location is obviously a big part of it. On 95, close to the mountains, close to the beach. That's great. Quality of life and cost of living is considerably better than people from D.C., some other northern, more crowded cities. An apartment that costs $3,000 a month in DC might cost $1,200 a month here, for example. So that's big. But, I think in the heart of the city, VCU's had a lot to do with it. The kids that come out of VCU are starting to stay. It's attracting the breweries, the restaurants. That type of activity causes folks to move here and stay here. And now it's like the bowls rolling down the hill. And you saw the stuff that's happening in Manchester, Scott's Addition, and downtown. It's now it's rolling. I don't think it's going to stop for a while.
So what Shelby had talked about from nonprofits engaging with local business, you're totally on board with that. Talk about what it means from a business standpoint, what it means to engage and help the community grow, because that does impact the quality of life, which impacts people coming here. So talk a little about your involvement and how you see the business sector engaging with nonprofit worlds.
Sure. So my story is similar to Shelby's, that when you are out there doing stuff and you're meeting people, it's almost impossible not to be empathetic. It's almost not to put yourself in their shoes and see where you can help, right? One of the initially started the business, initially day one, your thought is survive. Is make enough money to pay the bills today. And then as you start growing, you realize how much of an impact you can have in lots of ways, right? You're impacting your employees, you're impacting their families. The real estate world, especially when we're developing real estate, we're affecting communities, usually in a good way, sometimes not in a good way. There's some downsides to gentrification and to development. But at the end of the day, when you're out there seeing people and you understand what they're going through, you kind of naturally want to find a way to help. And so as we've grown, we've gotten involved with various organizations. The thing we do the most is with Woodville Elementary, which is in North Churchill. The kids that go to Woodville usually live in one of the surrounding housing projects. They're subject to a lot of violence and crime and stuff that's not great. And so our folks at Dodson do a ton at Woodville. We mentor kids. We volunteer at PTA night, raise money for special things that the teacher will post something on our website. The music teacher needs $400 to buy recorders, for example, something like that. We'll get involved there. And that's been probably the coolest thing about our company growing and getting more established in Richmond is the ability to interact with the community and to give back in various ways.
So that's and one of the things is that's you guys are game changers. One of the best parts about this program is seeing things that are cool out there and reaching out to the people and say, hey, would you come here and tell your story? You kind of have you and your team have an innovative way that you reach people, which are the interviews with the sunglasses. And that's how people sort of know you. When you're doing branding, because it's a competitive business, how do you help Dodson stand out? And tell a little bit about that part.
Sure. You're referencing podcasts we do, not too dissimilar to what we're doing here, interviewing interesting people in Richmond doing interesting things. We interview real estate developers. We also interview head of nonprofits and just whatever's interesting and people that are doing things in the Richmond area. I think what that does for us, when we started it, I'm not sure we had a definite goal in mind. It wasn't like a monetary goal or number of followers. But our intent was to, number one, keep our finger on the pulse of Richmond, what's happening. Number two, I think by the folks you interview and by the people seeing you interact, they learn about you and your company's values and what you're about. And I think that is the most important part of the podcast that we do, is simply getting our personality out there. I think a lot of people want to make landlords and private management companies villains, and sometimes that is deserved when you're not a responsible landlord or a property management company. But just because we're in the property management business doesn't mean we have to be heartless. And I think the podcast and things we do in the community are good ways of just showing our personality, and that comes out in a non-salesy way. Okay.
So, folks, the voices you're listening to are Duke Dodson of Dodson Property Management, Shelby Brown of Missions from the Heart, as well as CBS 6. The time is 2:18. The program is On the Mic with Mike. You're on WNTW, which is 92.7 FM, 820 AM. So, Shelby, this is the part of the program. We're still going to get to the big news part, but so you're a broadcast, you're a journalist. A journalist.
That's right.
You are. So, and you're on in the morning. We've had Reba on the program, and she's talked about the morning routine. Let folks know, when I saw you this morning, let folks know what it means when we see you at 5:47. What time did the day start?
Well, luckily, I only have that shift one day a week.
Gotcha.
So I'm just Friday mornings. And if I can get my feet to touch the ground, I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good. So my day would normally start at about 1:30, give myself time to, get my parts moving and get dressed.
So wait one second. We got to go back. So your day what time did the other day end if that day starts at 1:30 in the morning?
So our news managers are awesome. And so on Thursdays, they recognize that on Friday, I have to be here super early. So they will let me record a story. So if you see me on Thursday evening on the news, it's probably recorded and not live. And I'm probably at home sleeping in the bed.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, that's true. And shout out to the folks at WTVR they make the talent available, because it's something important for you coming to a program like this. And we just like to say a shout out to them. Folks, the time is short. We are going to take a break, and we will be back shortly.
Hey, this is your chef, Michelle Wilson of Mom Michelle's Cafe, located at 10811 Home Street Road, Midlothian, Virginia. Our number, 804-912-1644. Come and join us. We have live entertainment, a new menu. Follow us on Facebook at Mom Michelle's Cafe, Twitter, and Instagram. We are sold south of the James.
I can't begin to tell you how Premier Bank helps simplify my busy life. Premier's mobile banking app gives me 24/7 access to my accounts and check deposit with my phone. With Secure Lock equipped, I have a tool that gives me complete control over my debit card. I can receive instant alerts, set spending limits, turn card on and off, and even control where it can be used. And Premier's People Pay lets me send someone money without writing a check. Premier products and Premier service from Premier Bank. Member FDIC.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jimmy Stump with Stump's Pig and Pint. We're located on the corner of 2nd Street and 119 East Lee. We specialize in slow-cooked meats, handmade sides, and homemade desserts. Stop by. Let us take great care of you. You can find us on Facebook at Stump's Pig and Pint, or you can give us a call, 804-477-3208. We look forward to taking care of you soon.
Did you know embroidery is an easy, low-cost way to market your business? Let Godmama Wear LLC assist you with your custom logo embroidery needs. Whether you need shirts, hats, or yoga mats, Godmama Wear can embroider various items. Visit us online at www.godmamawear.com. That's www.godmamawear.com. Let's talk soon.
Before and after the salon has been active in the Richmond, Virginia community, providing hairstyling services for over 10 years. Before and After is located in downtown Richmond at 1917 West Carey Street. Specializing in weaves, extensions, and growing healthy hair, Before and After provides a full suite of hair care services. Expert stylists Michelle Smith and Alicia Clark are well trained to meet your styling needs at Before and After the salon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. The time is 2:23. Joining us in the studio in the mix are Shelby Brown from CBS 6, as well as Duke Dodson from Dodson Property Management. So, Shelby, you were telling us your day starts at 1:30.
Yes, but only on Fridays.
Only on Fridays.
Only
okay.
on Fridays. Get dressed, get situated, head to the station, and just prepare to do a live hit for the morning news. Top of the 5, bottom of 5:30, 6, 6:30. And then I'm done. Take a little break. Then I jump in on my problem solvers calls and I start answering emails and trying to set up problem solver stories for the next week.
So explain to folks what the problem solvers are.
Just like it sounds. We have an email line, we have a phone line, and people stop me in the grocery store or they pull up a chair when I'm sitting at the restaurant and they want to tell you about the problem. Yeah, about a problem that they've been trying to solve forever and they just can't quite get to the person that they need to get to. And so we just advocate for them and try to take it to the top.
So, folks, one of the things we're talking with Shelby about is the power of broadcast TV. When cable and everything else goes out, broadcast TV is there to tell you actually what happens. It's mandated. So when you have a problem, people will call you and say, please help us with this problem. It's a powerful medium. And like I said, just like to thank a shout out to the folks at TVR for having you come in here. So now when a person calls up and they say, I have this problem, what's the mechanism that happens for you guys to go out and take a look at it?
Well, you ask all the who, what, when, where, why, what, and all that good stuff. You do your background, you do your research, you start reaching out to whatever, if it's a company that they're having an issue with.
A landlord, property management company?
Maybe.
Just wanted to be clear with this. That's the disclaimer part of the
I
show.
didn't say that. And you just reach out and really you just are just this middle person just trying to bring two people together. And honestly, there are a lot of stories that never make the air that start off as problem solvers. You make a few calls, you get them to the right person, you walk them through the weeds, they get to the right person they need, and then they fix it. And it's like, we don't really need to put that on TV,
So now that's the professional side. What happens when kids see a mom's on TV? Like when they look at your kids and your kids have to drop the my mom's on TV card.
Well, they don't really do it that much.
But you're recognized that way.
Yeah. I go to the basketball games and,
And people are looking at you saying, I know you from somewhere, but.
And I say, oh, yeah, I'm the bagger at Food Line. Oh, yeah, I moved up from, produce. Go, oh, okay.
So, and people are like, okay, people are not buying that. So one of the things how'd you get to journalism? Was it always that as a passion, a storyteller?
I grew up in a large family, got 7 brothers, 5 sisters.
Whoa.
And I grew up in Williamsburg, and out of everyone, I just had this attraction to news. And there was this beautiful lady on Wavy TV 10. Her name was Diana Morgan, and she did the news, and she was so eloquent. And I just felt like she knew everything. She had all the answers, and she was dressed nice, and she just always just seemed to be on point. And I thought, oh man, when I grow up, I want to be just like that lady. And so I just started, researching and figuring out what I needed to do. And in high school, taking public speaking classes. And then I have a mom her name is Evelyn Brown.
Shout out to mom.
Shout out to mama. She's 87. She lives with us. But we grew up in church.
Blessed.
Yes. And she would tell me,
volunteer.
when somebody wouldn't show up for the welcome, she would stand in the choir stand and say, well, Pastor, Shelby will be more than happy to do that welcome. And I'm at the back of the church going like, really? And she'd be like, come on up. So from the back pew to the front of the church, I'd have to figure out something to say before I got to the front. So I blame it on my mama too.
Well, mom did good.
Mom did good.
Mom did, and it's a shout out because one of the things when you look at journalism, it's always asking the tough questions or the questions that people don't think about. It's informing the masses about a story, or about something that's personal or something that's important that people don't really understand. And that's why, I love the news business. It's something, sometimes people say, I ask some people sometimes, I'm like, how do you deal with the story without it being a part of you when you go into the next day or the next day? What's the remedy for that for you?
Well, for me, my faith is very, very important to me. And there a lot of times I do have to lean on my faith and just have to really make myself separate a lot of the things that I see. And so mental health is very important to me too. And self-care, it's taken me a lot of years to realize, you just kind of get in the grind and you go and you cover and you cover. I've covered stories from murders to court cases. I actually was a state's witness at an execution when I was a reporter in Mobile, Alabama. And it wasn't until years later that I realized like, whoa, that impacted me, And so I talked to people too about self-care, reporters that work with me, even at the other stations, we're friends, we compete when we're trying to get that scoop. But at the end of the day,
Everybody's
we're friends, and so we care about each other. And when I'm asked to speak, whether it's at a women's conference or luncheon or something like that, I always bring the conversation back to self-care, because it's so easy to get lost in what you're doing and then it impacts you. And then one day you wake up and you're like, I feel like I have a ton of bricks on my shoulders. So I rely on my faith and prayer to help me, kind of separate those things.
So folks, the voice you've been listening to is Shelby Brown of Missions from the Heart. She has some big news. We have to go away to take a break, and we're going to, at the bottom of the hour, the time is 2:29. Shout out to all the caretakers who are out there. Shout out to my wife who's there with the grandkids. And as soon as this is over, I'm on my way, baby. I got you. So that's one of the parts. But with that, we just like to thank these guys for coming in. And we'll catch you on the other side of the break. This has been On the Mic with Mike. And I'd like to thank, up to this point, Shelby and Duke. And we shall return. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It's 92.7 FM, 820 AM. The station is WNTW. This is the defining business program in Richmond, Virginia, here in downtown Chester. Hotbed of activity. Boy, it's a lot of business stuff going on. But at the moment, we have to welcome in a friend of the program, our friend Jacob from Nudge Advertising, who's going to give us a business tip of the day.
Hey,
Hello,
Mike, how's it going?
Jacob, how you doing? So Jacob's from Nudge Advertising. Jacob, give us something today that folks can think about and use in their business. All
right, so in terms of social media, to kind of get more likes, get more engagements, get more basically bang for your buck, so visual content will actually get you 40 times more likely to get more shares and just regular engagements, and maybe get you some sales or whatever you're looking for in terms of social media. So visual content, meaning photos, short little videos, some GIFs, some memes, infographics, whatever pertains really to your business. But the more visuals, the better.
So, Jacob, your company is Nudge Advertising. What do you guys specialize in?
So we do branding and marketing for small businesses and entrepreneurs, anything from websites to logos to business cards to helping develop your social media. And all of that is available in both English and Spanish for all the great Spanish and Hispanic businesses down in Chester.
Alrighty, folks, the voice you're listening to is Jacob from Nudge Advertising. Jacob, how can folks find you?
Well, they can check out our website at nudgeadvertising.co. Check us out on Facebook at Nudge Advertising. Check us out on Instagram at Nudge Advertising. Send us an email at nudgeadvertising@gmail.com, or shoot us a text or give us a call at 202-670-6295.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Now take care.
Yeah, you have a good weekend.
I say, folks, Jacob from Nudge Advertising, the best in the business. Those guys are good. They also care about the community and do a lot of things from a community aspect of helping nonprofits get up and running and hone their skills, because there are 1,000 nonprofits who are out in RVA, and everyone's trying to find the next person to help them get to where their mission wants them to be. Here with us, we have Shelby Brown of CBS 6 and Mission from the Heart, Duke Dodson from Dodson Property Management. Now is the time, Shelby. You've had the time. We warmed it up here. Let the good folks know what's going on with Missions of the Heart, and you guys have some big news.
Big news, and that comes in the form of a grant that we just received from Walmart, a $5,000 grant. The folks over there, shout out to Anita and Becky, who, along with the associates there, decided that they wanted their Community Rise grant to go towards homelessness. So we had to apply, and they had to pick us out of 8 different agencies. And so we just had a big celebration last week.
Big celebration with a big check.
Yeah. Party on aisle 9.
I saw the check. I did.
It was a big check. I love that.
You love big checks.
Yeah. I have that in my house now.
It helps you do big things.
Right. But I think it just shows their commitment to the community and just wanting to support people that are out there on the ground, just trying to make a difference for the kids. And that's really what it's about, you know?
Okay. Well, congratulations on that. When we talk about big checks and big things, it helps people in very little ways.
Yeah.
And the little ways are the things that hold things together. And a shout out to you and your team there. So what type of events do you guys have upcoming, and how can folks find you?
Well, one of our big programs that we do, we call our Community Caring Closet. So we're targeting schools that don't have a resource room. So as we collect items all year, clothing, school supplies, toiletries, feminine hygiene products, a really big deal for kids that are in school. As we collect these things, we have to sort them, package them, assemble them. So that's when we pull on our volunteers. And again, the great folks over at Channel 6 allow us to come and have our assembly lines going in the newsroom on a Saturday morning. We may have 60, 70 volunteers helping us sort through, pack the bags. And then we donate them to the school, help them set up a resource room. So for instance, if you're a teacher and you know that you have a student that comes to school every day in the wintertime, no coat, and you realize that kid is homeless or maybe didn't, just low income or just has a need. Now you have a resource room that's going to be stocked by Mission from the Heart. You can take that kid discreetly to the closet. You can pull out a coat, pull out some shoes. The people that donate to us are fantastic. They give us all new clothes and shoes because, again, these are the kids that never get to pull a new tag off of a coat, never get to pull a tag off of a pair of pants. So our goal is just to hit all of those schools that don't have resource rooms. So that's what we're doing.
And the one part about it is, and that's business helping, society. That is the basis of this program, and we've talked about that since we've been here. Success in business allows a lot of times you to do those other things. So, Duke, you're one of the businesses that really care and help the community. When you look at and you want Richmond to be a place where it's engaging and inviting to business, what's the business society? I guess the business look like certain areas, or now you're on the development side. What are some of the areas that are hot right now? And everyone knows, okay, Churchill. And what are some of the things when you look further down the road than some of the other short-sighted folks?
Yeah, I think if you follow the news at all, you're probably aware of Scott's Addition and what's been happening there in the last 5 years. It's been unlike anything we've ever seen on a real estate development front in Richmond as far as the speed of which that neighborhood has developed and how much rents have increased. People have moved to the neighborhood, businesses, et cetera. There's a lot of neighborhoods doing well in Richmond. Like you mentioned, Churchill, Manchester, the Arts District, Jackson Ward, Carver, they're all doing well. If you're asking what's next, if you're looking 5 to 10 years out, I think you're going to see a lot of development happen on the north side, as well as the East End, like towards the Fulton Hill part of town. I think that deals are harder to find now in Scott's Addition in Manchester and those neighborhoods. There'll still be some that come along, but if you're looking 5 to 10 years out, the north side and the East End is where I would look.
So just the other day, we were at Stump's Pig and Pint. Shout out to Jimmy Stump and the folks there. And the mayor was there. He was out there pitching the Navy Hill project. The floor is yours, sir.
Okay.
Just to talk a little bit about what do you think about that, and what's the scuttlebutt in the street about the project?
Okay, how much time do we have? Seriously.
I know, right?
All right, I'll start by a couple disclaimers. Number one, I have developed property nearby that proposed project, so it will benefit me if that project happens.
That's the disclaimer part, folks.
So I'm biased. Second, I would say that any real estate development project, especially this one, is one as big as this one in scale, and anything that involves city financing or funding, or whenever anyone thinks the developer's getting a favor, there's going to be a lot of doubt. There's got to be a lot of suspicion, and there should be some oversight to that. I have not read every page of the plan. I don't think anybody has, other than the folks that wrote it and some of the city council members possibly. But I would say I'm a fan of the project. I think it will do a lot of good. Sure, will those developers benefit from it? Probably, yes. Will the city benefit from it? I think so too. But it's a massive project, $1.5 billion, tons of jobs, lots of affordable housing, which is a big part. And I do applaud Mayor Stoney for pushing that part of the agenda, pushing the affordable housing piece, because Richmond needs a lot of that, and affordable housing is hard to develop, and we have way less of it than we need. So that part of it is good, but I just think it'll be good for that part of downtown. So I'm a big fan.
So when the other day people asked Mayor Stoney what would happen if the plan didn't go forward, what would happen, and sort of they were like nothing.
Mm-hmm. And so let me make one more point about it. If we're talking about it, some of the opponents of the project are stating that they should let that part of town develop organically, meaning let people like me and you go in and buy $1 billion at a time and develop it. Based on all the factors at play, that might take 20 years, whereas this plan would get most of it done in 2 to 5. And developing that whole area, that part of town, with a cohesive plan, including the arena, including the hotel, which is needed for the convention center. The convention center needs a third hotel, and if they have that, they will get more conventions, bigger conventions, and that's a ton of tourism dollars to the Richmond area, in addition to the office space and the multifamily. But that's the part that excites me the most, is the arena and the hotel for the convention center, along with the affordable housing.
So when I came here 5 years ago, so folks, this is live radio. I am getting the mark. We have 30 seconds. Okay, the show is On the Mic with Mike. The time is 2:44, and we have to go take care of some things, pay some bills, and we will be back shortly.
A Premier Bank home equity line of credit can open many doors for you. The door to a brand new kitchen, or the door to a shiny new car or SUV. Maybe the door to a college education for your kids. No matter what doors you want to open, Premier Bank can help with great rates and money to lend to qualified borrowers. Call or visit your nearest Premier Bank office to learn more. Premier Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Subject to credit approval and qualifying credit score.
Premier Bank.
Hi, do you struggle with forming the right words to draw on your target audience? Are you stuck on page 1 of that manuscript? Do you need an extra set of eyes to critique and edit your flyers, emails, or manuscripts? Do you need more time to do what you love within your business and life? If you answer yes to any of these questions, I would love to assist you. My name is Amanda Edie, and I am the literary enthusiast. I'm an editor, ghostwriter, proofreader, and creative assistant for small business owners and entrepreneurs. You can contact me today at www.amandaedie.com. Let me help you creatively change the world.
Yeah, this is Big Herm from Big Herm's Kitchen and Catering. We're located on the heart of Jackson Ward on 315 North 2nd Street, Richmond, Virginia. We're open Monday through Friday, 11 to 6. Takeout and delivery, but we also cater anytime. We deliver all types and cater all types of events from graduations to weddings. Please check us out at bighermscatering.com or call us directly, 804-922-3693 for any of your catering needs.
Sandra Wilson, CEO of Black Connections. Black Connections is an all-Black platform that supports and promotes Black-owned businesses and organizations. We are on Instagram at Black Connections. We will be having a Black Business Expo November 29th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Crossroads Arts Center in Richmond. Hope to see you there.
Hello, everybody. This is Vinny Jones from Enzo Cigar Lounge, the new premier cigar experience in the Richmond area. We're conveniently located at 9101 Midlothian Turnpike, Suite 800A, inside the shops of the Arboretum. Come by for something different. We have a great selection with a knowledgeable staff to help you out. You can reach us on Instagram at Enzo Cigars, on Facebook, Enzo Cigar Lounge, Twitter at Enzo Cigars, and also our website, enzocigarlounge.com, to find out about special promotions and events. If you come in and mention On the Mic with Mike, I'll give you a 20% discount. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Need affordable auto insurance? What about an SR22 or FR44? Tired of paying for auto and renter coverages that you don't quite understand? Running a business and worried about if your contracts, products, services, and clients are protected? Well, here at the Insurance Lady Consulting Firm, we make sure you never have to go through that. We educate clients on the coverages needed to protect everything in your world. We're a small woman and minority-owned insurance firm that specializes in business insurance and offers auto, home, life, motorcycle, and even pet insurance. Call us today at 888-784-9980 and follow us on Facebook and Instagram as the Insurance Lady LADI.
Welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. The time is 2:49, and the program is On the Mic with Mike. The station's WNTW 92.7 FM, 820 AM. Quick, okay, so folks, we have a moment where we had Eric Terry from the Virginia Restaurant Tour, Lodging, all those things. So he was here and he was talking about Virginia is for restaurant lovers. So folks, I just want to give a look to what he's a friend of the program. So I just want to give show that. It's Virginia's for Lovers. And we're having a couple of friends of the program are going to have a contest. So stay on the lookout. It's Mama Shell's Cafe over on the south side. They're going to have a contest, as well as Jimmy Stump over at Stump's Pig and Pint, which are great friends of the program. So now we've got the shameless plug out the way. We can move on. So, Shelby, what else do you guys have going on? What's hot? And forget that. I just want to know, how do you get your nonprofit to stand out from 1,000 that are in the Richmond area? What's the secret?
There's no doubt that it's intertwined with what I do at Channel 6. People see me and they know, like, hey, that's the lady from the news. And people see the stories that we cover. And our station is super supportive of what we do. So you'll see the stories. You'll see us, creating a closet next week at John B. Carey Elementary. You'll see us talking about the closet that we started at Matoka Middle School. And then people will call and email and stop by. We have a bin in our front lobby, and our secretary will call me once or twice, in a month and say, Shelby, this bin is full up here. You got to come up here and get your stuff. And I'll say, yes, ma'am, Miss Shirley, I'll come.
She's no joke. Miss Shirley ain't no, she does not play. She does not play.
But people know, they know where they can find me. And so it's kind of, it's sort of a platform for me, because people just, they just know where to find me. But then, I'm just connected in a lot of ways in the community. I see a lot of pictures of a lot of people that I know that have nonprofits that have been on your show, and volunteer with them. And then they see what we're doing. Then they support me because we support each other. And then they're on social media. We're on social media. My kids talk about it. My daughter loves to wear her Mission from the Heart shirt to school. I got to give her like 5 of them because she thinks she can wear it every day. And I'm like, okay, babe, we'll get you a few more. And they love to talk about it at school. They talk about it with their friends, their teachers, ask them about it. And that is how now we are going to start one at their school at Davis Middle School in Chester.
One of the good things from the nonprofit, we're going into the holidays. It can be kind of a tough time. Talk a little bit about, from the nonprofit standpoint, what it now, maybe this isn't a part of your world, but as a mom, as a journalist, talk a little bit about this time of year. I know you guys always do a ton of things over at Dodson. Talk a little about community engagement and the holidays.
You're swamped. You're swamped. I mean, our mission was to help students that are homeless and low-income students. And even last year, I didn't even really have a plan for Thanksgiving. I just thought that, hey, we're collecting. We're going to keep doing our distribution. And then I had a city council person call me and say, hey, we just got a donation, and we want to give out some Thanksgiving meals. And I thought about you and the kids that you help. Hey, call me back in 30 minutes and tell me how many families you can feed. And I went, And I called back after I made a few other calls, and I said, 50? And she said, awesome. And this was 2 days before Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. So I called up a friend of mine that used to work at Channel 6. She now owns a transportation company. And I said, hey, Mary, need one of your vans. Can you help us? We got to go over to the Walmart on Sheila Lane and pick up some free turkeys and all the trimmings. And I said, but we also have some families that live in motels. I mean, if I give them a turkey, they can't cook it. They don't have a stove. That's, pointless. Mm-hmm. Can we do some hot meals? And they say, yeah. So I called 2 volunteers, 2 retired ladies that tell me, hey, baby, you can call me anytime.
And you called them.
I called Miss Annie and I said, hey, how you doing? And I said, I just need a little help. We got about 10 meals to pick up from a restaurant and deliver. Would you be able to help me do that tomorrow? They all said yes. And I even said to my boss, I said, I think I'm going to be a little late to work tomorrow. Is that okay? I can just push my story back. She says, oh, no problem. But we delivered 50 meals the very next day. And I was early to work. I walked in and my boss was like, oh, I thought you were doing that turkey thing. And I was like, oh, yeah, we did. But the pieces of the puzzle just come together. So that was a partnership there. There's another partnership with a nonprofit, Wealth Building Solutions. They kind of cater towards adult people that are experiencing homelessness. At Christmas time, they came to me and said, hey, give us some kids. We have an angel tree type thing going on. How many kids can you bring? And I said, okay, 40. So I gave her the 40 names. We got the sizes. She had volunteers. We had other volunteers that took the names, bought the gifts. And we had a big gathering over at Martin Luther King Middle School. And the families came and got their items. So it's busy. It's a busy time.
That, when you hear stories like that, it's great. So the time is 2:55. The program's On the Mic with Mike. shout out to WNTW. As folks would know, this is a Christian conservative station. We're here talking about some of the, issues that are in the community, and I'd just like to thank the station for the opportunity to do that. So, but it is a business show. So Duke, we have a lot of entrepreneurs starting out in business, and they've gone from thinking about starting a business. What are some of the keys to success? So and the reason I go down that road is the more successful, like you said, the more successful you are, the more you're able to help. Sure. So, sir, the floor is yours to give a little bit of advice for new entrepreneurs who are out there.
Yeah, I think most successful entrepreneurs start from a place of curiosity. They see something maybe and they think, how could I do it better? And then once they start the business, they start realizing how hard it is and how many different things get thrown at you. So I think the curiosity is pretty common in all the initial entrepreneurs that start, and the ones that succeed. Either they have an incredible work ethic or they just have this incredible burning desire to find a way to win, and they don't realize all the crap that they go through in order to survive when you're a small business. When you're a small business, literally everything's getting thrown at you really fast, and you're trying to fight your way through it. You may be like good at 7 of the 10 things that you need to do, and the other 3 you got to find someone to help, or you got to figure it out really fast. And so the ones that make it, those tough initial, first and second and third year, usually have this burning desire to win, and because of that, they're able to find a way, whether it's working long hours or getting really creative. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but the ones that make it through those first 3 years have to have a lot of toughness and a lot of desire to win.
That is true. So I always tell people this program, it's where culture, innovation, technology all kind of intersect. Talk about culture for a second. You have a young, well, maybe it's not young, but it seems a young kind of cool culture who gets things done, who have their fingers on the pulse of technology. When I look at TVR, starting at the top, at Stephen Hayes, it's a shout out to him and those guys there. It's a culture of family and caring. Talk a little bit about culture and environment for business and what it means. That sounds, man, that's
a good question.
I might have a future doing this.
You want my job?
No, I'm scared of the camera.
You said it though. From where I stand, and when I look at our station now, I've worked there since 2001, so 18 years I've worked there, and I've seen people come and go. But the team that we have now, it really is like a family. People support. They want to know what you're doing. I go in there on a Saturday morning with volunteers. Greg McQuaid is in there after the morning show. He's jumping in. Hey, folks, how you doing? He's jumping in there. He's engaging, with the folks that are there. Next thing you know, he's packing up stuff too. And Mike Stone is walking in. Or you can say, hey, I'm having this event. Just need some folks to come up. We had one of our coworkers, Laura French. Her family owns a bonchon at right near Chesterfield Town Center. They had a Mission from the Heart night, and they said, hey, how can we support you? So just about everybody that's on there came to the station, came to the restaurant. Oh, we waited tables. I worked behind the bar. We served drinks. The restaurant gave us proceeds from the night, and we just had the door. It was a revolving door because we hit them on Facebook, on Instagram. We had everybody, and it was like I was looking on social media, and I would see people from the station, some people that I don't even see every single day, shouting us out, saying like, "Hey, who's gonna show up?" And so we have that. When I think about the culture of what we have at the station there, it's pretty special. Now we do have our moments where sometimes, some folks, we have to work through some things.
Well, that's family,
right?
And that's family. But what ultimately in the end, it's how things work. All right, so folks, the time's 2:59. We have 1 minute to go. So hey, this is the wrap up of the program. My name's Mike King. Please follow my other brands, which is RVA Swag Central. On CW Richmond, 5 a.m. on Friday morning. It's a social enterprise show similar to this right here. On the Mic with Mike is the program. I'd like to thank Duke Dodson from Dodson Property Management, Shelby Brown from CBS 6, but more importantly,
Mission from the Heart.
Mission of the Heart. That's why she's here. Folks, join us next Friday. We'll try and come back and do it just as good. Shout out, as I said, to the caretakers, and I'm on my way. We're out. Thanks. Take care.